Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to End of Mission, the podcast where we talk about space missions that have ended. I'm Paul, the pressure-fed astronaut, and who are you?
I'm Face of Sarcasm. I'm the people that people don't like. I'm the person that people don't like, because I'm here, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that today's episode is not Galileo like I promised last time.
Oh, it's not?
No, none of these are Galileo.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have, graduate school, and it's the end of the semester. So Galileo got pushed to January.
Oh, so that's your excuses?
It's another delay. Just like
Exciting.
Galileo.
Hey! I don't know anything about it.
That mission's cursed.
Oh, okay.
So instead I thought we'd do a fun little special. Special episode 3. Because we do things in order here. And
Yeah?
yeah, we do. We do things in order.
Okay.
As planned, just like last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it'd be fun to do first successful orbital launches by country and what they launched.
Okay.
Does that sound like fun?
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
See, if you said no, it'd be even funnier.
Oh.
Because they're still doing this.
Oh, okay.
We're still under the shuttle on the payload. Not the payload, on the launch pad. I'm still holding you hostage.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Got my, eyes open, taped open.
Yeah, like in
Clockwork Orange style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I decided we'd do first orbital launches. Now, for the qualifying for this, you have to launch it yourselves. Because if we did first satellites by country, we would be here for a few hours. Because, yeah. The most recent country actually to get a satellite up is the Vatican.
Really?
Yep. This year.
What did they put up?
Little CubeSat.
Oh.
I
Just
guess
for fun, or?
I don't. Maybe it's got a little prayer book in it. I don't know.
It's got a little drawer, and inside is the Bible.
Yeah. Well, you gotta remember the Vatican does a lot of astronomy.
Really?
They did a lot of science back in the day. Yeah.
Huh. Whack.
Yeah. So we'll do first orbital launches and then some special mentions afterward.
Honorable mentions.
Yes, actually, that's what I think when I titled those slides.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So how many countries do you think have launched their own satellites into orbit?
I'm gonna guess 13.
You're close. 11.
Oh, hey, Dan, not good, not bad.
This game is going to be guess the country that's next. Now, the first two are obvious.
The United States, and the Soviet Union, and then the United States.
But then afterward, we'll play the guessing game. And we're going to talk about the satellites that they put up and what they did, if they worked, all that kind of thing. And the rocket, too, a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so I actually have 3 here on screen
Okay.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whose satellites do you think these are?
Okay, so on the left, it kind of looks like a UE written on the rocket. Are we just going in order?
No, we'll just guess. Can you guess whose countries is this? Are these 3?
Okay. I have no idea. They all kind of look the same.
Throw out some guesses. We'll see if you're wrong.
All right. So on the left, I'm going to go United States.
Okay, yeah, actually that's right.
Okay, perfect. Because it looks like a redstone.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Actually, so the UE actually is... So it's for the numbering scheme for them. They used Huntsville. And then that's how they did the numeric system.
But UE, those aren't numbers.
Yeah, but the letters represent numbers.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they take Huntsville, take one of the L's out, it's different letters. So that's how they used it.
That makes no sense.
And, yeah, it's the 50s, all the lead of gasoline. So whose satellite do you think that is in the middle?
In the middle. Well, it's square. Everything looks like it's attached with precision. Is it Germany?
No.
Oh, shoot.
Then who's on the right? You'll see.
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Just pick a country and guess.
Japan?
No.
Is it France?
No. We'll just go. Let's just. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one, Sputnik. Wow.
Obviously. Wow, what a surprise.
Which translates to Satellite 1 because the Soviets were creative. This one launched on October 4th, 1957, signaling the beginning of the space age. Launched on an R7, This is a picture of it. As you can see, it's in camo. See,
Oh yeah, it
See
matches
the
the background sky.
yeah, there's a rocket right there. That's an R7. It launched on an R7 booster, which is just an ICBM.
They just put it on a missile, but put a satellite there instead.
Yeah, because I forgot who the design bureau figured this out. Because, gosh, the Soviet Union's the design bureaus. They loved making them. They figured this 5-ton nuclear warhead could be a 1-ton satellite. So they actually built one. Built a 1-ton satellite that they didn't launch because they realized, well, what if it blew up?
Oh, so they built one before this one and then just didn't launch it out of fear?
They launched it eventually. I think it was Sputnik 3, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this got into an orbit of 939 by 215 kilometers. So that's about 580 by 134 miles.
Okay.
An inclination of 65.1 degrees.
Okay.
It weighed about 83.6 kilograms. It's like 185 pounds. It's nearly as much as I weigh. It's a really fat sphere. And it's about 2 feet wide. And this is what it looks like on the inside, all exploded.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
inspiring.
It's a very simple spacecraft. So it's got 3 objectives and equipment on it.
Okay.
1, the spherical body is there to characterize the atmosphere as its orbit decays, right? Because it's got drag.
It's getting a little thicker and a little windier, a little draftier.
You know what's funny? One of the first Sputniks landed and crashed in Wisconsin on some street.
Really?
Yeah, they have a little plaque commemorating where it splatted on the middle. It's the middle of the road. There's like a little spot right there where a Sputnik just slammed into it.
God, just like smacked into it like Truman Show style.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. So the second one, they had radio transmitters on board. 2 actually. 2 separate radio transmitters.
Oh.
And they used radio wave propagation to characterize the atmosphere. Because radio waves going through the atmosphere, you can kind of tell how the atmosphere behaves when radio waves go through it. Because it's going through. Yeah.
Okay.
And then since this is a pressurized spacecraft, because again, Soviet electronics are all pressurized, to make sure that worked.
Why are they all pressurized?
It was easier. Now, on the R7 upper stage, so it's actually a 2-stage, so this 2-ish. So this is stage 2. It's the core of the vehicle.
Okay.
This, you ever see a Soyuz launch? They got the boosters on the side. So this would all end up in orbit too. So put reflectors on it so you could see it.
Oh.
So whenever you see an October sky, when Homer Hickam looks up and sees Sputnik,
Yeah.
that's not Sputnik. That's the booster.
Oh.
Sputnik was too dim. Because again, it's 2 feet wide.
Yeah, it's pretty
This
small.
booster is a bit bigger than that, as you can see.
Yeah, it's like at least more than 2 feet.
Yeah. So it only had a radar transmitter on, going beep, beep, beep. But of course, it meant the signaling of the space age.
Yeah, so the radio transmission heard around the world.
Yep. I'll play you the song by Public Broadcasting Service on Sputnik too.
Okay.
I'll play you that one. The funniest thing is, everyone knew that they were going to launch a satellite. It was part of the International Geophysical Year. The plan was to launch satellites. The United States, Soviet Union would launch satellites in coordination with their Antarctic programs. There's a whole bunch of science going on. It was actually planned. We knew this was going to happen.
Oh, so it wasn't like a big surprise. It was just like, hey, they actually did it.
Yeah. They did it first. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And also, how many people besides nerds would know about the International Geophysical Year?
Yeah.
Nerds.
No one.
Exactly.
Just nerds. So,
the end of mission for Sputnik was about, 3 months later? On January 4th, 1958. It fell out of the sky. Because again, that 134 miles up is not that high. It's going to come straight back down.
Yeah.
So it burned up in 1958. But it marked the beginning of the space age. It's Sputnik. It's Sputnik.
It's the beginning.
So the United States response to that actually worked, because we had Vanguard 1, which exploded.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was Explorer 1.
Ooh,
yes. This one was launched from the United States on January 31st, 1958, on top of a Jupiter C launch vehicle. Now, I want to clarify something. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they say it's Juno 1, but Juno 1, if I remember correctly, was for the ballistic tests. So what they do is they launch these with nose cones on them to see what they do like, what they behave like in the atmosphere. for launching warheads.
Right, because I want to make sure that their nukes aren't going to like start spinning out from the rocket.
Yeah, or miss.
Yeah, that would be not good.
Yeah. And we have pictures of this, don't worry. So this orbit was 2,550 by 358 kilometers, which is about 1,600 by 222 miles, at an inclination of 33.24 degrees. Right? Straight out of the Cape.
Right, so it's like significantly higher.
It actually overperformed, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This only weighed about 14 kilograms, so about 31 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
It was 6.5 inches in diameter, but, 80.75 inches long, so,
So it's thin and long.
Yeah. So at the very end here, so this back half here is the fourth stage that put it into orbit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this one actually had real science equipment on board. It had a Geiger counter to detect cosmic rays. It had 5 temperature sensors, an acoustic sensor to detect micrometeorite impacts, so it actually hear them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A wire grid detector to also detect micrometeorite impacts, so you can kind of, you can see that all electronics are in here. It's this tiny guy.
Yeah.
So
It's only
there's
6.5 inches wide.
Yeah. So there's 3 figures involved in this mission are Dr. William Pickering, Dr. James Van Allen. He's from the University of Iowa, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then Dr. Werner von Braun, which there's my spelling mistake. I think I spelled Werner wrong.
Werner.
Werner. Yeah.
Werner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Redstone is a direct descendant of V2.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's basically the same engine.
Right.
Basically the same vehicle. I mean, so is R7, the Soviet ICBM. And what's funny is they still, because the old V2s would use decomposing hydrogen peroxide to run the turbines, which would pull the propellants in. We don't do that anymore in our rockets because we just use the fuel.
Right.
The Soyuz launcher still uses peroxide.
God.
They just improved the thing. They didn't build a new one. So here's some interesting results from this mission. 1, the Geiger counter at certain points didn't return any data.
Really? Well, why not?
Because it was oversaturated with radiation.
Oh.
They didn't realize this until Explorer 3. What they discovered were the Van Allen radiation belts.
Named after a certain doctor, perhaps?
Yes. Isn't that interesting?
That is pretty interesting.
This thing counted 145 dust impacts over 22 hours.
Keep counting that dust. Always got to count the dust.
Even Galileo has a dust counter, okay? We're going to count some dust.
We love counting dust.
I don't know.
It's our favorite activity. Babe, it's 4 p.m. It's time to count the dust.
Yep. Or it's the opposite. Babe, come back. I want to do other things with you. Nope, counting dust.
The scientists yearn for the dust.
Yes, we learn. Yeah. Scientists left to their own devices will always count dust. So the other interesting one here is actually from physics. So the spacecraft was originally, if you look at the launch footage, it was actually on a spin table. They actually spun it up before they launched. So it's going to spin like this, right?
Sorry.
Along this axis, right? It's the long, thin body. It spins, like a football. It didn't.
Yeah.
Instead, it started tumbling end over end, like this.
Oh,
that's
not right.
Yeah. So what's interesting is, in 2010, the year we make contact, when they find the discovery, it's the same thing that happened, right? Because in 2001, the centrifuge is spinning,
Right. Yeah. Like
But-
the way this was supposed to spin.
Yeah. But over time, it'll actually evolve into tumbling.
Oh, so it's like with the top. So it'll go from like this to start freaking out, and then it'll just tumble the whole thing.
Yeah, that's an actual that they didn't know that would happen until 1958.
Dang.
Yeah.
Huh.
So isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
This one did a lot. And if I remember correctly, the day they discovered the Van Allen belts, someone in our nuclear test program said, "Well, what if we put a bomb in it?"
What if we nuke it?
Yeah. America in the 50s, man.
Yeah. Hey, we just made this incredible scientific discovery. What if we nuked it?
Yeah. And what's funny is, because we did our upper atmosphere nuclear testing, like Starfish Prime in the early 60s, those did actually create artificial radiation belts. So,
Wow.
yeah. So Explorer 1 orbits decayed on March 31st, 1970.
Oh, so it lasted a while.
Oh, it's a really high orbit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So this is, again, see, there it is.
Yep. Okay.
So, and we've been there. We know where that is. We've been to that launch site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there it is. So yeah, so you can see there it is up top there.
That's tiny.
Yeah, so it's a 4-stage vehicle. So here's the redstone. Then up here are clusters of like an outer ring of little Sargent motors, and then another ring of Sargent motors, and then the one on top that would carry it to orbit all the way.
Jeez.
They'd burn for like 20 seconds each.
Just
Yep.
yeah, really, Kerbal Space Program thinking with this.
Oh, definitely. And then here's the team here. So there's Pickering, Van Allen, Von Braun.
Okay, yeah, proudly holding up the thing.
Okay,
Awesome.
so what country do you think was third to do their own orbital launch? Do you want a hint?
Yes.
Who operates who's one of the biggest commercial launch providers outside the United States? That's not Russia or the United States.
I don't know.
Um,
Another hint.
every hint I would give it away very quickly.
Get creative.
So, this is tough. How do I get,
Okay, I'm just screw it. I'm just gonna start listing nations. Britain,
it's on this list, but no.
France.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. The French.
France. Yes, with their payload Asterix. It's so it was really called A1, but then they decided let's name it after this famous comic book character.
Asterix.
Asterix. Yeah, it's French. It's Snooty.
Okay.
So this one launched. It's a French.
Wait, so is it pronounced like that?
I don't know. That's how it's French. I don't know. It could mean Bob. For all I know.
It could be just Astor.
Yes, Asterix. And he would smoke a cigarette and complain about everything. Okay, we're gonna do stereotypes now. This isn't gonna work. When we get to some of these other countries, we'll get canceled for those. We gotta stop here.
Let's stop that. Yeah.
So this one launched on November 26th, 1965, on top of the Diamant A launch vehicle. So this is it actually.
Oh, okay. So it's shiny.
Oh yeah, it's a shiny little guy, and it's and there's Diamant A. I like this rocket. It's one of my favorite rockets. You wanna know why?
It's a cool looking rocket.
Aside from aesthetics.
It's pressure fed, isn't it?
The first stage is pressure fed, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually what's interesting, so what's outgassing here is instead of using normal like gas to pressurize it, they used a solid gas generator. So inside there's a little thing burning, generating hot gas to put the propellants into the tanks, like out of the tanks into the engine.
Jeez. This thing's basically steam powered.
Oh, it is. And the propellants are nitric acid and turpentine.
That sounds like a great combination.
Oh, yeah. And the upper stages are solid.
Okay.
This isn't Know Your Rocket, though, but yeah. Yeah, so
so it's usually, but like with other rockets, I know that's like usually the opposite, where it's like, where they're like they have the solid boosters on the first stage and then the liquid on upper stages. But that's interesting.
Well, you'll see some difference here when we come up.
Okay.
So the orbit was put into 1,700 by 530 kilometers, so about 1,100 by 330 miles up. So again, you're kind of putting into these kinds of orbits at 34.3 degrees. So
okay,
pretty
good.
Yeah, so it weighs about 100 pounds. So 42 kilograms, 100 pounds. Too many baguettes and frog legs there. And it's nearly 2 feet wide.
Okay.
So it actually was not launched from France, obviously. You know where France is. They can't do that. It's actually launched from Hammaguir, Algeria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which the French didn't launch there after, I think, 1967 because Algeria became its own country.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they said, leave. So what we know is this was mostly a technology demonstrator for satellite technology. Can you build this? Because they built a few others, and there were others in flow. Building more satellites. I've seen pictures of them. I like those old, early satellites. They will look really cool.
Okay.
Just going to tell you that when we get to them. The other one was ionospheric measurements. So to measure the upper atmosphere, ions and that kind of thing.
Right.
Now, technically, France is the 6th country with a satellite.
Why technically?
I'm using because the other ones were launched by like the United States.
Oh, okay.
That's
So it's
why,
like
right.
French satellites on American launch.
Well, this is the first French satellite, but there was one that was launched earlier, but if I remember correctly, because it was Soviet Union, United States, I think Canada, Britain, someone else, and then France. Oh, Italy, that was. They had, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also, so Italy's not on the list now. Just so you know, spoiler for the next ones. So let's see. So during the launch, one of the payload fairings didn't separate properly, so it damaged it, and it didn't work.
Oh.
But
Whoops.
the United States was tracking this, so it did make it to orbit. It counts.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
technically, the end of mission was November 28th, instead of the few months it was planned, and it's still in
Right.
orbit to this day.
Oh, okay. So it's just hanging out up there.
Yeah, it's chilling, being annoying in French. We'll get
Okay.
yeah. And there's some more pictures of the launch site because I think they look cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It does look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's Algeria for you.
Pretty brown.
I just like the vehicles there. I mean, they look French, don't they?
It's a milk truck.
Yeah, there's a milk truck. It would to deliver the groceries to the rocket.
Hey, we're not going to do any accents, all right?
That's true, because that's true.
We don't want to get it canceled.
Yeah, especially when we get to the Asian ones.
Yep, definitely not doing any more accents.
Yep, no more. So speaking of the next rocket, who do you think was the next country to get to orbit?
Well, given the context for the Asian countries, was it Japan?
Yes,
Hey.
with Osumi, which means that must have been a lawyer involved.
Mhm.
Well, actually, it's the peninsula where the launch site was.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yep, so this one launched on February 11th, 1970 on a Lambda 4S, which, we told you this when we did Haiten Hagoromo. This pretty much had no guidance system
Right, because of the reasons why.
because of World War II.
Yeah, the reasons why.
Yeah.
So they basically just angled it over and let gravity curve it.
Yeah. Yep. This is the only time this rocket launched a payload to orbit, and technically I think it's the second smallest launch vehicle ever built.
Oh, wow.
I think there's one that's smaller that worked. I think it was actually Japanese, like the SS-520. It launched
Okay.
a CubeSat.
Hey,
into orbit.
at least they got something up there, right?
Yeah. So this right here is the spacecraft itself. That's the 4th stage, so kind of borrowing
Okay,
from
so that's-
Explorer 1 here.
Got it.
Yeah. And then, so this is the spacecraft proper.
Okay,
Yeah, but it'll all be attached.
got it.
Uh,
Pretty small.
Oh yeah, it's again. There's the people putting it together.
Yeah.
It's a very small rocket. So this was put into an orbit of 5,140 kilometers by 350, which is about 3,200 miles by 220 miles. So really elliptical at 31 degrees.
They seem to be getting higher and higher.
Yeah, eventually let's launch it to the sun or something. Screw you.
Yeah.
So this thing only weighed about 50 pounds. Again, not much.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 45 centimeters or 18 inches. Not
Okay.
that big. At the widest. That's the stage. It's actually thinner up there.
Right.
But it
So
did have... What?
That's a pretty heavy thing right there, though. You know?
Well, yeah, it's got all the equipment on it. It's got all the weird, things on it, science equipment. Little logos.
All the dust counters.
Oh, yeah. Is there a dust counter? No, there isn't. There's no dust counter on this one. It's electron density, electron temperature probe, energetic particle counter. So you got a bit of a dust counter there.
Yeah, that's kind of that counts.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
it's counting stuff.
Particles and dust.
The solar radio noise detector. So I guess it's changing the channels. See if it's broadcasting anything.
Yeah, what are they playing on the sun right now?
Yeah.
Ooh,
then you
flare.
Oh yeah, heating up here.
Yeah.
And on board's a spherical Langmuir probe, which does ionospheric measurements.
Okay, it's more like atmospheric stuff.
Yeah, I think. It's again. I'm an engineer. I'll talk to you about building this thing more than I'll talk to you about science.
That's for nerds.
Yeah. So Osumi failed.
Oh,
It made it to orbit. It was transmitting, but it kept losing power as it went faster than anticipated because it was overheating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Temperatures and batteries do not mix.
Yeah. So that's most likely what happened. It overheated and then died. But
Cool.
it was in orbit until August 2nd, 2003.
Oh, so it stayed up there a while.
Oh, it was. Well, yeah, you got an apogee of 5,200 kilometers. It's gonna stay up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who's next?
Is it another Asian country?
Yes.
Is it China?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Launching Dongfang Hong 1, which means the East is red because it's
Ooh, that's a pretty
communist
good
China.
name.
Yeah, it's a good name. So this was launched from China on April 24th, 1970 on a Long March 1 rocket.
Okay.
The Long March is named for the Long March that Mao took as part of the communist revolution thing. I'm not well versed in my history of Chinese communism. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to the gulag now.
Mm-hmm.
So this was put into an orbit of 2,286 by 441 kilometers. So again, highly elliptical orbits, low perigees, 1,420 by 275 miles. Okay, and an inclination of 68.42 degrees.
That's pretty high.
That's pretty high. So this thing was actually pretty heavy. It weighs about 382 pounds, 173 kilograms, and it's a meter in diameter. And that's it right there.
That's pretty big.
Well, it's a big one, yeah. You can see that kind of growing in size as we know more about this technology and we started sharing it. Because a lot of Chinese space technology was borrowed from the Soviet Union up until Khrushchev took power.
Okay.
Yeah. Ever heard of the Sino-Soviet split?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oof.
We don't get political for a second. I mean, are you a Maoist here?
Of course. I am.
No. Well,
I
you're a
support our
traitor.
glorious country. Wait, what?
No, we support Chuche here, okay?
Okay.
That's the North Korean ideology.
Marxism.
Marxism, Leninism, Kim Jong-ilism. That's what it's called.
All right.
So it's got 3 things on it. 1, demonstrate satellite technology. Kind of a common theme here.
Yeah, basically we could put stuff into space.
Yeah, and it works.
Yeah.
Take measurements of the atmosphere and ionosphere.
Pretty boring.
And then
at this point.
And then for a month, it would blast the song "The East is Red," which is the national anthem of the People's Republic of China for a while.
Oh, okay.
Could you imagine that you're in orbit and all of a sudden you hear "The East is Red" just blasted as you go by?
That happens every 45 minutes. I don't get it.
Yeah, roll up your windows, guys.
Yeah.
Turn it down. So this thing fell out of orbit on May 14th. Oh, no, it didn't fall out of orbit. It's still in orbit, but it died on May 14th, 1970. There's no solar panels on it, as you can see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, it's a technology demonstrator, not...
Yeah, it's not supposed to last forever.
Yeah. So it's still in orbit, actually. Its orbit is lowering as we go. I don't think it's up. I think it's below 2,000 kilometers at apogee.
Okay.
So it's coming out of orbit. But what's interesting is the guy who designed the spacecraft is still alive and working on the Chinese lunar exploration program.
Oh, wow. Hey,
Yeah, he's in his 90s. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. We'll get to the moon eventually, guys.
If it's the last thing I do.
It probably will be.
Hey, at least then he'll live long enough to see it.
Yeah. So this is actually the rocket being built. I got this from Norbert Brugge's website, and he got screenshots from some Chinese documentary, as you can see.
Oh, okay.
Or Chinese social media. So yeah, this is it being built. That's that right there. This is the Long March 1. It's a direct derivative of the Dongfang 5 missile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, pretty much all missile derivatives.
Yes. Which is a derivative of some Soviet missile.
Which is a derivative of the V2.
Which is a direct descendant of V2.
Yeah.
Yes, these other guys. I do kind of like the hats they're wearing, the little suits. I do like those. I like those. Like the mouse suit, I think it's called. I do like those. Yeah.
Okay.
You got the cap and so that's what the spacecraft looks like. And you can see, so it's 2 liquid stages and a solid kick stage right here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's a solid kick stage. And then, there's Mao, the man himself.
Yeah, photographed for all to see.
Yep, he's looking over it.
Yep.
So who's next? Who's the next country to make it to orbit?
Which continent?
Asia. Think of the space powers.
Is it India?
Yes.
Hey!
No, I lied. It was Britain. I was wrong.
This is not going to be good. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
If this podcast was made in the 30s, it would make sense. It'd still be part of the empire. Oh no! I'm stupid. Oh no! Okay, so Britain was United Kingdom. 7th is India,
Okay.
which was part of Britain for a while. But don't tell them that.
I mean, we were part of Britain for a while then, too.
Yeah, we
Until
fixed
got
that.
mad.
We fixed that.
Yeah.
So the next one, so the 6th satellite indigenously launched is Prospero, named for a character of one of Shakespeare's plays because it's British.
Of course, it's British.
So this is from the United Kingdom, launched on October 28th, 1971, on the Black Arrow launch vehicle. This is another one of my favorite rockets because it uses hydrogen peroxide and kerosene.
I thought it was going to use tea.
Close.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a quote by somebody describing this, like, look at the exhaust, right? It's clear. So someone's joking, oh yeah, with the Americans and all their fluff, oh, they're effluva, coming, kind of like the big posh British way of saying things, our rockets simply, they'll go up there, old chap, just go on up, no bells and whistles, just all that, So this is put into an orbit of 1,314 by 534 kilometers, so 816 by 330 miles at 82.04 degrees inclination. It weighed about 150 pounds, and it's about 4 feet wide. That's actually the flight spare. It's in a museum.
Oh.
Yeah. It was launched from Woomera, Australia.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, there were plans to build a launch site over the North Sea, near Norfolk, in Britain.
Did anything come of that, or is
No,
it just
of
like,
course
the
not.
water sucks, the North Sea sucks,
Well, the
let's
problem
not
is
do that stuff
there's
there.
a bunch of oil rigs there in the North Sea that the first stage would land on and cause another Piper Alpha, so they decided against that. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a few experiments on this. One, test a new solar cell component to test out, teeny
So,
solar
like,
cells. Yeah.
Solar panels.
Yeah. It didn't work. And then there was a technology demonstrator for communication satellites. That's a theme. And, most importantly, a micrometeoroid detector.
That's right. We're counting stuff.
Yep. Now, the United Kingdom takes the unique distinction as being the only country to have developed orbital launch capacity and then promptly gave up.
I'm going to stop all this nonsense.
Yes. We're going to get mad at something else. So the spacecraft was operating fully until about 1973. One of the antennas was damaged, actually, during the launch. So it's a 3-stage vehicle. So you have stage 1 here, peroxide kerosene, stage 2, and then there's a solid 3rd stage that put into orbit. And I guess when they separated, it was still outgassing a little, so it bonked into it.
Ooh.
Yeah. But
those do not look like they're giant antennas or structurally sound antennas.
No, not at all. Yeah. I mean, they're also British. Yeah. There's a bunch of beans in there too.
On toast for no reason.
Yeah. What's wrong with you people?
All right, come on. Let's stop
with the stereotyping. Okay.
Yeah. Come on.
So they actually talked to it about once a year until 1996. It's still up there. I think you can actually listen to it if you have the right equipment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still up there. It's still alive. They still talk to her. They chat it up every once in a while. How's it going? Tea,
they do a little tea time with
trumpets. Yeah. So there's another picture of it because I do like this rocket.
It's a little crumpled there.
Well, they found it. That's the first stage. That's it.
Oh, so it came back down and
yeah. Eat your heart out, SpaceX.
Yeah, didn't need any landing legs to recover this one.
Yeah, they just used the engine nozzles, as you can see.
Yeah. All you got to do is buff it right out, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, get the hammer, get some,
not the sickle.
Get some kit out of the DIY store. That's what they're called over there.
Okay.
Yeah, DIY stores, hardware stores. This is America.
Yeah, it's a hardware store. You go to Ace Hardware, all right, down the street, right? You grab yourself a little hammer. You get yourself like a nice long piece of steel tube.
Yeah, get a dowel.
You get in there, and yeah, exactly. And then you can just hammer it out, fly it again.
You gotta do you gotta pull out, get your truck, get your pickup trucks, okay? Get both of them, one on each end, because you can see here it's a bit dented, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta pull them out, stretch them out, make it all be good.
Yeah.
We'll launch it again.
All be good.
Eat your heart out, Elon.
Ain't need no fancy engineers and degree to figure this out.
Don't even need to land it. Let's come on right down. We'll go pick it up.
It's like a boomerang. It always comes back.
Yeah. This is launched from Australia. So yeah, of course it came back.
We're gonna make everyone angry at
Good.
us.
It beats all the angry comments I get from Starship videos, so I think we're doing good here.
We're doing the Lord's work.
No, I'm not getting there yet. The Vatican hasn't launched yet.
All right.
We're still in the 70s. So the next person, of course, as I said, is a former part of the British Empire, India,
Right.
with Rohini S1. Now, Rohini in Hindu means star or cow. Now, you gotta
Okay.
remember, in Hinduism, of course, cows are more sacred, so it's not an insult,
Right.
as we would do it.
Yeah,
That's
we
that
call
cow.
It, yeah, that's the cow.
That's like
Come
my
on.
sister, you know? That cow. Okay, everyone's sisters is now mad. So this one launched on July 18th, 1980 on the SLV-3 launch vehicle. That's this guy right here.
Okay.
It's a good looking
Looks
rocket, I say.
Yeah, these are all so far pretty looking pretty good, except for the British one.
I like the British one.
Yeah, that's why I said it doesn't look good. Just to personally upset you.
Okay. I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep tonight.
Yeah, perpetuate your rage. Stay
Nope.
mad.
Nope, just gonna cry.
Yes.
Okay, so this was put into a 919 by 303 kilometer orbit, so about 571 miles by 190 miles at about 45 degrees. Launched from India, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
They do dog-leg maneuvers because they can't go straight south because they'll hit something. So they launch a bit to the east and then turn.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, So they actually go out and then turn. Which of course I went on the yellow image. So
Yeah.
they launch to the east and then turn. It's called dog-leg.
Okay.
We do this sometimes. Yeah.
Alright.
So this thing only weighed about 77 pounds, 35 kilograms, and it's about 2 feet wide. You'll notice there's a theme here with the size of these spacecraft.
Yeah, they're all about 2 feet wide.
So what this is really doing here is monitor the performance of the fourth stage of SLV. It'd have a digital sun sensor as compared to, I guess, an analog sun sensor, like a sundial on the older rockets. I don't know.
No, there'd be a smaller person shoved in there with like a sextant. It would
Yeah.
be like monitoring the sun.
It has a magnetometer on it. Now, ISRO's webpage talks about how it was made of aluminum. I don't know why they included that.
Okay.
I guess it was pretty exciting that it was made of aluminum.
So, yeah.
It looks nice.
Okay.
It's a good-looking
Yeah.
satellite. It's a cute little guy.
Yeah.
So this one flew out of orbit about a year later, May 20th, 1981. Again, it was only meant to see if the rocket worked, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
a lot
few
of these
those
just
launched.
seem to be just tests.
Yeah, because I think there were 4 Rohini S spacecraft. And India, of course, is one of the big space powers now, with their
Mhm.
PSLV, GSLV. They're actually building a human space capsule.
Awesome.
They did an abort motor test earlier this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're planning on putting people into space. They'll be the 4th country to do that,
Awesome.
which would be really cool.
Yeah, join the Human League in Space or Humans in Space League.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. So who's 8th?
Which continent? Which continent?
Asia.
Oh crap.
Who launches satellites into space? Do you want a hint?
Yes, please.
Current
give me a hint.
events.
I don't. Oh god.
Current events. What country's been the subject of current events?
A lot of countries have been the subject of current events.
In Asia.
Yeah.
You could say it's in the middle of the east of it? Cough, cough?
Okay. Shoot. Which one in there? Is it? Okay, hang on.
You want to pull out a globe?
No, I'm trying to think which one it would be. Would it be, okay, I'm just gonna start listing out the countries until eventually you say yes, you're correct. Iran,
Close, but no.
Iraq,
You're getting close. It does start with I. You keep going east. You'll hit it
Israel.
eventually. Yeah.
Okay.
Israel with Ophek 1. Ophek means horizon in Hebrew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one's launched on September 19th, 1988, on a launch vehicle called Shavit or Shavit. I don't speak Hebrew. One means comet.
Okay.
Yep.
It kind of makes sense, right?
Yep.
With the whole.
Now, what's interesting about these is, now, you know where Israel is.
Yes.
It can't launch east now, can it?
I mean, it can, but that would make many, many people angry.
It'd be a lot more current events than what it is now.
Yeah.
They launch to the west, into retrograde orbits.
Really?
Yes. So this one was put into an orbit of 1,171 by 248 kilometers, 728 by 154 miles, and 143 degrees from the equator.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's going backwards. It's retrograde. In fact, one of the OFECs has the record for most retrograde orbit of a satellite.
Really?
Yes. Because it's got to go west.
Because that's Mediterranean Sea,
Yeah.
and almost no one lives there.
Yep. And this is the spacecraft, by the way.
Okay.
So it weighs about 350 pounds, 155 kilograms. It's about 4 feet wide, and it's about 8 feet, 7.5 feet tall.
So it's the largest of the ones so far.
It is
that's
definitely.
launched.
It's not a laser. Those are later.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
So this one's just a satellite technology demonstrator. Can we launch a satellite? Does it work?
Right. That's what a lot of these seem to be.
And then it fell out of orbit only like 4 months later, on January 14th, 1989. So,
Yeah, it didn't last long.
Yep. So
Wow.
who's next? You've said it
Yeah.
already.
Really?
Yep.
Is it Iran?
Yes.
Ah!
On Omid. Now, Omid means hope in Persian. You gotta remember,
okay.
they don't speak Arabic in Iran, they speak Persian.
Right. Yeah, because of the old Persian Empire.
Yeah. It looks a lot like Arabic written, but it's not.
Right. It's different.
We're being culturally sensitive here to make up for my what I said earlier.
We're trying our best at the very least.
Yes. So this actually is the spacecraft here, in a blanket, I guess.
It was cold. I needed a binky.
So this one launched February 2nd, 2009.
Oh, wow.
You were alive for this.
Jeez.
I was alive for this.
I mean, it feels like we went from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s to the 2000s.
Yeah. Well, you think about it. It's orbital launch capacity is just an evolution of missile technology, right? It's a missile that misses the ground.
Right. Okay.
Certain countries want missile technology
To hit the ground.
to hit the ground. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is Iranian, of course. So this launched on the launch vehicle here, which is Scud derived. This is a derivative of the Scud missile, which is like the stepchild of V2.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It's because it's derived from the Soviet Scud missile. Saddam Hussein used a lot of them, actually.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's
remember,
fun.
watch Jarhead, right, when they're complaining about missiles? They're firing Scuds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they work. They're cheap and stupid. They're-
Like
Yeah.
me.
So this vehicle is called Saphir 1 or Saphir 2. I actually found a PowerPoint made by Iran talking about OMED, and they said it was Saphir 2. But the problem is, Saphir 2 is also what Simorg, the other launch vehicle they use, is. Yeah.
So then why is it the same thing then?
I don't know. It could have been a typo, could have been an internal mistake. I don't know. I'm not Iranian. I thought about
Okay.
going to the Iranian website, but then I remembered, oh, wait, I'm already on a list.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay on that list.
Yeah.
So this spacecraft weighs a good 60 pounds, and it's about 15.75 inches across. So, again, pretty small. It's a cube.
Yeah.
So it's actually a store and forward technology demonstrator satellite. So what it does is you send a signal to it, stores it, and then send it to somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that
No.
why the antennas are angled so it goes in the one, gets in the box, and then goes out the other?
That's not how antennas work. But
Oh.
we'll say that. We'll appease your mind, your non-engineer mind for this.
My very simple mind.
I say, not an electrical engineer. Dad's going to be so mad at us now.
Yeah. He's going to teach you all about radio again.
Oh, no. Actually, that'll be fun.
That'd be great.
Just for our listeners, our father is an electrical engineer with a specialty in RF, radio frequency technology.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So, yeah.
come on,
Hi,
son,
Dad.
let me tell you about radio. So Iran claimed it's for peaceful purposes, specifically for communications technology and for future earthquake monitoring, because Iran gets a lot of earthquakes. You gotta remember, they're mountainous.
Yeah, because that's like it's weird plate tectonics going on there.
There's plate tectonics going on. President Ahmadinejad also claimed the satellite was built to spread monotheism, peace, and justice.
Okay.
Now, monotheism in this case is not, because, it's Islam, it's a Shia Islam thing, but it's monotheism in this specificity actually refers to this idea, like the unitary idea of Allah as, like, unitary and unique. Because if you look at Christianity, right, has, like, the Holy Trinity, which they see as, no, that's not unitary God thing. So that's what they mean by monotheism.
So so they see Christianity as polytheist because it's three.
Yeah.
Within the Godhead. Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So,
So there's another drawer in there that has the Quran.
Yeah, so in there is a copy of the Quran.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I did do some research on this to make sure I wasn't screwing it up. Because, again, I want to be culturally respectful here.
Yeah. I mean, it does sound... I am remembering my history of Christianity course that I took in college, and that does sound correct. So,
yeah. And I
from what I remember.
And I read about people on the internet who have beliefs related to Islam out of curiosity. I think, if I remember correctly, actually, I think one of the Ayatollahs was part of, like, a monotheism society when he was in college.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. So they did an earlier launch a year before, in 2008, of the same rocket. It didn't work, obviously.
Okay.
And this one, I think it fell out of orbit on April 25th, 2009.
So, like, 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Iran's space program is actually pretty interesting. Just this week, they launched I think they launched a chimp into space.
They launched a what?
A biological capsule. I think a chimp into space on it.
Oh.
On top of a Scud.
That sounds... yeah, okay.
Hey, it works, right?
Yeah.
If it works, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So, in that vein, who do you think is the next country?
Is it Iraq?
No.
Okay.
I actually made a video about this one.
Oh, shoot. Give me a hint.
Well, it's also Scud derived.
That doesn't help.
That does not help. Well, who would the Soviet Union give Scud missiles to for free? That's their friend.
I don't know.
I already said them.
Is it North Korea?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So their satellite's called Bright Star 3.2 or Lodestar 3.2. The real name is Kwang Myong Song 3, Unit Number 2. Now, this specifically refers to Bright Star, Lodestar. Comes from this, because Lodestars back in the day were navigational. You get your sextant out for navigation, and a Lodestar would be a star that you use for a point of reference.
Oh, okay.
And this idea comes from the Kim family cult of personality, which says when I think Kim Il-sung was born, there was another star in the sky to use for reference for navigation, because, again, it's North Korea's interesting.
Yeah.
So you were alive for this one as well.
Of course.
This one launched December 12th, 2012, which was like a week before Kim Jong-il died.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I had my end of the world party.
Yeah, I remember that.
So right around that time.
So he died and the world ended. Huh, that's pretty interesting.
So maybe there is something to it.
Yeah.
That does. Did I tell you? I think I told you about this. I watched that documentary about James Drasnock, the guy who defected to North Korea.
Yeah.
I just thought it was, because I was thinking about that, because it's just so funny listening to this guy, this Southern boy from Virginia in the 40s, who grew up in the 40s, and talk about, Juche and the great leader, this great. You shouldn't be saying that. You shouldn't be saying. Why are you saying these things? You should be talking about how evil it is, how bad it is, because they're dirty commies. Not, that's the principal Juche, and see that symbol? That's the symbol of the Korean Workers' Party. It's like this isn't right. It's so weird. So this spacecraft went into an orbit of 581 by 498 kilometers. So actually, it's pretty circular at 97.5 degrees. Again, they launched
it's backwards.
Yeah, well, it's a sun-synchronous orbit.
Okay.
So sun-synchronous orbits are a byproduct of the fact that the Earth isn't perfectly round.
Okay.
So because Earth is an M&M in shape.
Yeah, it's slightly oblate.
Right. There are certain orbits you can get where you will always be on the terminator line. So the sun will be on one side and it won't be on the other, right? The day-night side.
Okay.
And because Earth is not a perfect sphere, you can do that where you don't have to do maneuvers.
Oh, so it'll just like stick with it, so that way it like basically follows it along with the orbit of the Earth.
Yeah. So you'll always have one side facing the sun as you orbit the Earth. That's why it's called sun synchronous. You don't have that in Kerbal Space Program because it doesn't have that kind of physics.
Yeah, because they programmed it wrong.
Yeah. So this thing weighs about 100 kilograms. So there it is. That's it.
That's it. That's the box.
Yep. Weighs about 200 pounds. We don't actually know what it weighs. North Koreans never said.
Right.
Now, I will make note here. North Korea does claim that they did an orbital launch in 1998. NORAD would have tracked that. All right, so this thing's about 2 feet wide, 5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a refrigerator, I guess. Actually, the solar panels were supposed to fold out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if they did or not. So this thing was supposed to be a technology demonstrator for future spacecraft meant for peaceful purposes like crop monitoring. Also, it's a triumph of Chuche, Kim Jong-ilism, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's interesting is, so North Korea claimed it was a full success and the satellite was working perfectly.
Yeah.
People ground tracking it noticed that it was tumbling.
It's supposed to do that.
Yeah. We've successfully demonstrated how not to make the satellite work.
Yeah.
So we don't know what the current status of the spacecraft. North Korea has, actually, I think last month they launched a satellite into orbit on their new rocket called Chilima-1.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been confirmed it's in orbit. We'll probably hear more about it once it comes out.
Okay.
So this is actually Unha 3, which means Galaxy 3 rocket.
Okay.
So this first stage is derived from the Dongfang 5 base, so like the Long March 1. The second stage is Scud derived. And the third stage, I think, is Solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just kind of a mishmash of basically derivatives of other.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, if you read the articles about this, everyone talks about how this rocket's basically something out of the 1960s.
Well, I mean, that's pretty characteristic of North Korea.
Well, it is. Yeah, North Korea is still stuck in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for the North Korean people.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's North Korea, and it's just so weird. They're a weird country.
Yeah.
So who's the 11th?
Okay, give me a hint.
We are really close.
We're really close.
Yes.
Is it South Korea?
Yes, it is.
Hey.
Now, they actually had a bunch of payloads on it. Their launch vehicle is called Nuri.
Ooh.
This one launched June 21st, 2022.
Oh, so last year.
This launched last year. They actually,
Wow.
South Korea put a spy satellite up on a new rocket this week.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So this one actually went up to about 700 kilometers at a 97-degree inclination. The payloads were about 1.5 metric tons. So this is actually one of them. And it's got a bunch of little ones inside, little CubeSats, and just throw them out.
That looks cool.
Yeah. This one sucks because there's not much details on it.
Oh.
I know more about the North Korean launch program than I do with the South Korean. And North Korea is a dictatorship.
Yeah. An isolationist country.
Yeah. What gives, guys? Maybe that is the real triumph of Chuche.
Oh, no.
No one here... I'll be very clear here. There is no defense of North Korea. I have seen weird people online defend it. They're all insane.
Yeah.
They're all weird. Now, I will grant that the media does like to sensationalize stories about North Korea. They do.
Mm-hmm.
But North Korea still sucks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this actually marks the end of countries that have developed their own orbital launch capacity. But I do have 3 honorable mentions.
Okay.
But first, I will note, I think the next country to get one will probably be Taiwan or Australia.
Okay.
Australia has their Eris launch vehicle developed by Gilmore Space, which they're planning to launch by the end of the month.
Oh,
I've seen pictures of it.
That.
Yep. We'll
So
see.
it also means the end of the year.
End of the year, yeah, as well. Yeah, that's the real end of missions, the end of the year. Taiwan's building their own. They're both hybrid launch vehicles, by the way. Taiwan, there's Thai Space, which is building the Tai 2 or something like that. The last I heard about them, they built a test article, they did a static fire, and it caught on fire.
Oh, that's not what the static fire means.
Yeah. Oops. Whoopsie. And then, so they're probably the next ones. I know Germany's got 3 private companies right now building their own rockets. Which, again, they could have been the first. They could have been in the middle there with OTRAG, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Italy was planning on building their own rocket called, is derived from Scout, launched from the San Marco platform. I didn't include that in the slides because they didn't have a payload planned. But, yeah, so there's a few countries that might see some indigenous launch soon.
Okay.
So we're talking about the 3 honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
Which countries do you think they are? I think we've mentioned 2 of them already.
Is it Germany?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not doing OTRAG because OTRAG didn't have a payload.
Dang it.
And it had to be a German payload launched from a German rocket.
Okay. Gotta get a hint.
Syrup.
Canada?
Yeah. So the first one could have been Canada in the 1960s, launched from the HARP gun.
Heck yeah.
Gerald Bull had a design for a payload and a launch vehicle that was fired out of a gun called Martlet 4. This is it. Okay? Solid first stage, liquid second and third stages, but there were plans for all solid 3-stage vehicle that would carry a satellite into low Earth orbit from a gun from Barbados.
That's so awesome.
This gun right there.
That's it.
Obviously, it didn't get built or fly, but again, we're talking about the honorable mentions here. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Probably
That would have been awesome.
It probably would have been the only country to have a satellite launched from a gun. Wasn't even
A very
American either.
American one.
Yeah. Well, the Army was working on HARP too.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because the gun was built from like a destroyer gun. They modified it. It's awesome. Space guns are cool.
Yeah. Oh, they want to do like the spin launch. Just use a gun.
Yeah, just build a really big gun.
Yeah.
Tactically, it's a really stupid thing to do, but you know,
Just build a big gun.
yeah. So, what do you think the next honorable mention is?
Give me another hint.
Well, you've mentioned it already, and it also involves Jerry Bull.
Shoot.
So where did Jerry Bull want to build a space gun after HARP?
I don't remember.
How do I say this without giving it away?
Is it Iraq?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is, again, we have like 8 pixels here to take a look at. I forgot the name of the satellite already. It's like Tafik, I think it was. So this is the actual satellite, all 5 pixels of it. There's a pixel shortage, okay? Iraq was at war a lot.
Yeah.
This was going to be launched on the Al Abid launch vehicle, built right here, which is Scud-derived.
Of course. Oh man, Scud's getting a lot of work out of it.
Oh yeah, it works. It's dumb, cheap, and reliable. I mean, reliable is a bit of a reliable in air quotes here, but
Somewhat reliable. That's good enough.
so this is the satellite. It's still in Iraq somewhere. We don't know because of former current events.
That's called history.
There is history. Now it's history because I think the average age of someone who watches this channel is under 25. So
Okay.
So it's So this is like this is the far past for a lot of you people.
Ancient history.
This is ancient history, Iraq. So this satellite was built. It was going to launch on top of this rocket. So it was technically the Al Hussein missile, which was a derivative of Scud. I'll do this in the Al Abid launch vehicle, Know Your Rocket. But I've talked to you about this before. But so Iran and Iraq fought a war with each other.
Yeah.
Throughout the 80s.
Uh-huh.
The biggest problem that Iraq had was Baghdad was really close to the front lines. So Iran would throw missiles at it.
Oh.
Scuds, specifically.
Of course.
Iraq wanted to retaliate by throwing Scuds at them, but Scuds couldn't hit Tehran.
Shoot.
Which, interesting enough, that is the first war fought with ballistic missiles.
Really?
Yeah. It was the same missiles, too. So,
man, who's ever building them Scud missiles, they're making lots of cash.
well, comrade, the Soviet Union. So what he built was called the Al Hussein, which was just a stretched Scud,
Makes sense.
which he then clustered into an orbital launch vehicle. So it'd be 5 Scuds here, 1 Scud, and then a solid upper stage. And Jerry Bull did work on Al Hussein and Al Abid. The theory is this is why he was assassinated in 1990, not for the work on the Babylon gun.
Ah, okay.
Because a space gun is really noticeable and tactically inefficient compared to a missile which you can actually make and works.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially if it's Scud derived, which is quote unquote reliable.
It works. It'll blow stuff up.
Okay.
So this did actually launch in, I think it was 1989. So this would have tied with Shavit, with Israel. Israel was 1988.
Yeah.
So this has been the 9th country to reach orbit.
Oh, nice.
So it did launch. We don't know what happened to it. Records are sketchy because of because of history. Because that was right end of the first Gulf War. Then there was us getting involved because Saddam invaded Kuwait like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't do anything for about 10 years. Then we invaded them.
Yeah.
So that didn't,
Yeah.
Which is funny because one of the articles that actually talks about this, the first line is not very good on the Space Review that talks about the Iraq invasion, the war going on there at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And all the comments, none of them were about the interesting history about the space program. It was all about that line. They were all arguing about it.
Oh,
Not mad at that. It's like from 2008, but yeah. It's history. We try to be as apolitical as possible.
Yeah. As much as possible, but I mean, like with this episode, just it's a can of worms when it comes to geopolitics.
It's a special episode.
Really put it up. Yeah, this is
This is a special episode. For me, it's the emphasis on special.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. This is going to be our worst episode.
This is what's gonna get us canceled.
We're finally getting attention. Why are we getting attention? Oh.
Yeah, why are there a few tens of thousands of views on this? Oh no.
Are they all mad? Did you talk about Elon Musk again? No. So, the last honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
What country do you think that is?
I don't know. Give me a hint.
Not Asia, not Europe.
Okay, so is it Australia?
No. I already told you we would have covered them.
Right. Antarctica.
That's classified.
Dang it.
So no.
The penguins are up to something.
Can't let them. Can neither confirm nor deny.
Is it in South America?
Yes.
Is it Brazil?
Yes.
Ah.
Brazil.
Oh, okay. All right.
So in the late 90s, early 2000s, they had a program called VLS. My Portuguese is terrible, so it's like Vehiculo Lancement System, which means launch vehicle system.
Wow.
It was
creative.
It was an all-solid launch vehicle, as you can see. Mm-hmm. They built satellites for it. They did 3 test flights, and they all failed. The last one in, I think, 2003 exploded so badly it destroyed the launch site, and it killed, I think, 20 people.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Brazil has promptly given up on orbital launch development, but they are, I think, recently they're trying to get people to launch from Alcantara, their launch site, which is actually closer to the equator than French Guiana and Kourou.
Okay.
I know there's a South Korean company, I think it's South Korean, that actually did a test launch in O-Space from Alcantara.
Oh.
I've looked at Alcantara to launch for my rocket. So,
okay.
There were plans to actually launch Proton from Alcantara to do geostationary launches. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
Oh, it's terrible. 20 people did die. Yeah, it blew up their entire program. But good luck to them. Like, Brazil's trying. They tried to resurrect VLS. They've been trying to do that for a few years. They don't have the budget for it.
Makes sense.
But they are trying to get people to launch from Alcantara. So.
Yeah. Rent out the pad.
So what did we learn today?
We learned that we are 2 culturally insensitive Americans.
Oh, yep.
At least we drop the accents.
What do you mean? What kind of accents we're talking about here?
The racist ones.
That's true. Yeah, the racist Texan. Okay, let's be American for a second.
Okay.
We were almost victims of a school shooting. There.
That gives us an excuse?
Yep. See, there we go. Make fun of us for that. You can make fun of us for that. I guess.
Oh, yeah. Sure. What?
I don't know. That's a stereotype of Americans now, is that we all die in mass shootings. And I'm overweight. You're overweight.
Yeah, so we're a bunch of fat, stupid, culturally insensitive Americans making fun of other countries we've never been to, with people we've never met.
Yeah.
Trying our best to talk about rockets.
We were culturally sensitive to Iran, who calls us the Great Satan.
Hey, we gotta respect our enemies, all right?
Yep. And we did do a North Korea joke. So I guess we'll never go there.
Yes, because I desperately wanted to.
Yeah, me, the defense contractor. Yeah, let's go to vacation in North Korea. That'll end well.
Man.
Oh God, this is so bad.
This is terrible. Should we post this?
Yes. Do you want to redo it?
I don't know if we can. Really, I don't know if we can without. Nah, let's just post it.
We'll post it. Come on. I've never been canceled for any of my culturally insensitive takes. We're keeping this dialogue in, by the way.
Okay.
I'm the editor for this. It's staying in.
All right.
Who else could we culturally insensitive to while we're at it? The Spanish? Ooh, anything about them? Hey, they're developing their own rocket. Payload space called Miura.
It's called Mirda?
Miura. No, not that. No, Mirua. Miura. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I know Turkey's building their own rocket. They're launch it from. I think the original plan's to launch from Somalia, which that's not a good choice.
Yeah.
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 So what do we, aside from the insensitive things we have said, what have you learned? You got to learn some things about first orbital launches.
Yeah, so I
And
learned that all of them have, all of them are either derived from, gosh. Yeah, a lot of them have very similar derivatives. A lot of them are derived from Scuds.
Yeah.
For the rockets.
Which is just V2.
I learned, yeah, which is basically just V2. I learned that pretty much all of them are basically just like a proof of concept. Yep, that we can launch satellites into orbit. I learned that the orbits increased over time, but then decreased, but got more circular over time.
Yeah.
I learned that basically a lot of them were trying to test just like very few things, right?
Yeah. It's your first
Mostly,
orbital
like,
launch, you know.
Mostly counting dust.
Oh, man.
And crap like
Again,
that.
Galileo. Guess what it's got on it?
Dust counter.
Dust counter. Yeah. Also, I kept these images because I like them.
These are good.
It's a distinctly French launch site. I don't know why. You just see this is French.
Yes, I guess.
I don't know. And then the British one, of course, with the black arrow.
Yep.
Yeah, so actually, right there, that's the third stage. That's what bonked into the satellite.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is actually the third launch of Black Arrow. No, second launch. It's R2. You can see it.
Oh, yeah.
So they actually built another one, which is on display in a museum. That's where we got the picture of Prospero from.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is funny because they canceled the program 6 months before it launched. And the engineers on site said, no, it would be cheaper. Okay, I shouldn't do an accent.
Don't do the accent. We just
Hello,
discussed this.
This is terrible. Oh, God, this is horrible.
Just don't do the accent.
Don't do an accent. Okay, I'm not going to do an accent now, okay? You hear? So they said it'd be cheaper to launch it than to send it back.
Oh, okay.
And they did.
So they just launched it.
I think that's what happened. It's been a while since I've read A Vertical Empire, which is a good book, by the way. You should get it, about the British space program. Because they developed their own missiles. Again, the British actually developed their own ICBM, which looked like Atlas, but wasn't Atlas. They built a satellite launch vehicle, they built satellites, they built missiles, and then they gave up.
Yeah, I guess they realized that they were the conqueror of the waves and not the skies.
Well, it's because America was the big dominant partner, and it's like, we'll just borrow stuff from you.
Yeah. We'll just shop American.
Yeah. Buy American.
Yeah.
All right. So, on this most insensitive episode, our next special, the Christmas special,
Yes!
the most American space movie of them all, Armageddon. Yeah!
Whoa!
Yeah! This is terrible. Oh, no. Oh, that movie's culturally insensitive, too.
Yeah, it's America saves the world.
America saves the past.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is an awful episode.
This is our worst episode yet.
That beats STS-7, where I sound like I was in a kazoo.
Yeah. Which one was the one that we did 3 or 4 times?
STS-7.
Yeah. This is worse than STS-7.
This is worse than that. And everyone's going to watch it. It's going to be the most watched episode. Just watch.
Of course.
What should we call it?
What?
What should we call this episode?
Our worst episode.
Our most insensitive episode.
Yeah.
That's the clickbait right there. Okay, let's end it here so we don't do talk shop. Okay, so yeah, our next special, the Christmas special, which will be, we have 2 more specials coming up. It's this one and the next one. Because I was busy with a job.
Yeah, and school.
And you're busy now with
moving
and getting a job. So,
woohoo! Yeah! Woo!
Woo!
America!
USA!
USA!
USA! Oh, God.
USA!
Okay. You know what's funny? Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do one more thing.
Okay.
So back when I had the job making water meters, right?
Yeah.
Back in 2015.
Uh-huh.
I joked with my buddies about how we'd build satellites. We'd launch them, and so we'd broadcast American propaganda to North Korea.
Yeah, we're going to send up the satellite, and it's just going to blast the Star-Spangled Banner constantly.
Just like China did with the East is Red.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll show them.
Yeah.
Actually,
we'll upstage.
Actually, I think the Soviet Union, for their first, one of their first lunar spacecraft, actually did the Internationale, which was the socialist anthem.
Okay.
But because one note was off on the recording, they didn't actually play the recording from the satellite. It was a ground-based recording.
They faked it.
Yeah. This is just going on. This is terrible. We're going. Oh man, we're gonna end the mission. We're gonna end the mission here. End of podcast, more like.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been a good run, everyone. What episode is this? How many episodes have we done?
This is gonna be our 10th episode.
We did it. We did 10 episodes, and that was it.
Yep.
It's been a great podcast, everyone. I love you all, and I'm gonna go drown myself in my toilet. I don't know.
No, well, you're moving. You're fleeing the scene.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna move to an undisclosed location. Can't wait to see all of the X posts and have this reposted as an X video.
Elon would love it then, because it's insensitive. So actually good.
Oh yeah, all right.
There we go. We got our obligatory mean thing to Elon too. There we go.
Yep. All right. Hello, Elon, our new contributor now.
Yes. Our biggest Patreon.
Sponsored by.
Let's stop. We gotta stop making this episode. Stop.
And scene.